We are certainly hearing positive signs from President Donald Trump when it comes to talks with Iran, even as major questions remain. Trump told reporters Tuesday night that a new agreement over the Strait of Hormuz could come as soon as Wednesday or Thursday. He also referred to discussions as very good in an interview with Fox News that aired Tuesday night, before warning about what would happen if a deal doesn't come together.
If they back out again, they're going to get hit really hard. They know that. They understand that.
Iran has already issued fresh pushback to the comments. Iranian state media cited an unnamed official as saying that any potential agreement between Iran and Oman over the Strait of Hormuz has no connection to the larger reopening of it. We're also hearing Gulf nations weigh in. A senior Gulf official told CNN Wednesday that there's a 50-50 chance that a deal is reached by Friday. On Tuesday, we heard from Qatar, which said currently there are no direct talks between the U.S. and Iran ongoing, but that a draft of a possible agreement was being circulated. And it all comes as we've been reporting on concerns expressed by some in the military community here in the U.S. about the U.S.'s own stockpiles of weapons. The U.S. has seen nearly 80% of interceptors for a key missile defense system depleted amid this war, sources familiar with the matter told CNN. At the White House, I'm Maddie Gannon.
Nothing is burning here. It does have kind of a otherworldly feeling. It feels apocalyptic.
As major wildfires tear through eastern Washington, smoke from the fires is impacting communities on the other side of the state.
There's nothing you can do about it except for follow the recommendations and take care of yourselves.
The Spokane County fires are among 17 major fires burning across Washington. Wildfires also burning to the south in Oregon and even further south. In Northern California, the Gann fire, which started Monday, has burned through thousands of acres and prompted evacuations.
I only packed enough food for the horses for like a day because I'm like, oh, we'll be back tomorrow. I don't think that's going to happen.
Also in the western U.S., severe weather forced nearly 24 flights bound for Denver to divert to Colorado Springs Monday night.
What types of aircraft went around? Did you say it was for wind shear or microburst?
Rated wind shear.
5 people were injured by turbulence. The airport confirmed Colorado Springs Fire Department personnel provided medical assistance, with 1 person hospitalized in stable condition. Meanwhile, in the east, high water on Tuesday, heavy flooding hitting Norfolk, Virginia. The National Weather Service issued a flash flood warning, describing the weather as dangerous and life-threatening. In one incident, a motorist was seen being rescued from a partially submerged vehicle. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
You can see the sign down there in the distance, and that sign probably maybe 75 yards was where we first noticed the column of smoke. On Saturday, the 1st of August, I was taking my grandson to pick up his friend, and as we were driving down the road, I noticed an individual standing off the side of the road on the other side of the train tracks, which borders my property. It was probably 10-15 minutes later. We were returning back. That person was still there, only this time they were kind of bent over and looked like they were doing something towards the tree line and the fence down, like I said, the north side of the railroad track. So continued up to the house, was here probably 10-15 minutes max, and then my daughter was sitting on the porch out there, and she says there's a fire. So I flagged the officer down, told him what I saw. We gave him a description of the individual that we saw, and after we got all packed up, we're getting ready to leave, he came up to me and says that the Spokane County Sheriff Department had apprehended or detained an individual that met your description and wanted to know if we could identify him. All 3 of us positively identified that as the individual we saw standing in the area the fire started approximately 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes before the fire was noticed. That's how dry it is.
There's no doubt in my mind that much loved January 2025 Falcon 9 upper stage that we've been tracking all these months is now in teeny little pieces scattered over the surface of the moon near Einstein crater. the Falcon 9 rocket had done its job within a few hours of launch. Back in January 2025, batteries ran out. It's been a dead hunk of 4 tons of metal ever since, just orbiting under gravity. I would imagine that the US Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, which is a huge spy camera in low orbit around the moon, will eventually spot a mark on the moon where the rocket hit. And so if you want visual confirmation that it really did hit, then yes, we'll have to wait for something like the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter to send us pictures. But, as a physicist, I know that what goes up must come down. and the fact that we saw it heading at thousands of miles an hour toward the moon yesterday, I don't think there was any way it can dodge, right? So we're very confident that it did in fact hit.
5 state primaries on Tuesday have set up November's general election battles, which could determine control of Congress. Michigan's Democratic Senate primary is the most watched and most expensive, with moderate Haley Stevens taking on progressive Abdul El-Sayed. The race was too close to call Tuesday night, but Stevens called El-Sayed this morning to concede.
As bitter and as divisive and as cynical as the campaign against us might have been, I want us to realize that there is so much more that unites us now.
El-Sayed's victory now sets up a general election battle with Republican nominee Mike Rogers.
If you want a senator who's going to lick some boots, fine, go vote for Mike Rogers.
We have built our coalition, and we have been talking to independents for the last couple of months. We feel that we are on the right track.
Democratic primary voters in the 5 states picked a mix of progressive and moderate candidates as the party battles to redefine itself after 2 years out of power in Congress. Virginia Democrats went for 2 establishment candidates hoping to oust Republican incumbents. While in Missouri, Democratic Socialist and former squad member Cori Bush lost her primary for the 2nd time to incumbent Congressman Wesley Bell.
There's going to be times we disagree on issues, but that never should stop us from doing the work of regular folks.
I need St. Louis to not be ignorant going into these next 2 years. You were bamboozled and you were deceived.
The money race is also on. Nationwide, Republican fundraising committees and PACs have $1 billion to spend. Democrats have less than half of that. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
It's like, can't believe they're doing this to me. Since I married her, I've been married for her for 5 years. We would go once a year, and she would, go and check in, and they would tell her, okay, your stuff is in process. We see that. You have lawyers, we see that, come back in a year. And then it was always like that for the last 4 years. This time they decided, your wife is being deported. You don't even have to wait for her here. And I'm like, I'm confused. We got all this paperwork being done and we're doing the right thing. We've been coming into your appointments and just trying to do the right thing. Why are you doing this? Why are you breaking this family apart and making us go through all these emotional roller coasters? This is us right here, right? My unit, the whole parole in place. It's been there for years for us military servicemen to use. And when you get married, you can help your spouse be eligible to work here and stay here and continue their life here and build the life. I mean, we built the life here together and they're ripping it apart.
My mom was able to get her permanent residency. My father's case has been a little more complicated. There's been a few roadblocks here or there where we had to pretty much go back and start from like ground zero. And this is him with a tractor. So he's a ranch hand. So during harvest and planting seasons, like he's out on the tractors just for long hours. This is my father and I at my quinceañera. I had seen some ICE agents in civilian clothing. In the pit of your stomach, there's always that, like, what if they're here for my father? And it turns out that they were. So he was detained. He's been a great father. He's been supportive of everything that we've gone through. He's a great grandfather. It's honestly a roller coaster of emotions throughout the day. I do tend to throw myself into work a lot. That kind of has helped me cope and go through my days and trying to remember that I still have to be present for my family. But it is a hard situation. I wouldn't wish this on anybody.
I can't explain why they're doing this, especially to service members, because we're all about loyalty. We're all about doing the right thing. I miss her. I miss her a lot.
Electric car sales appear to be in a slump.
There were smoking deals out there. They're not as good as they used to be.
Ivan Drury with Edmunds says one reason buyers are turning away is the lack of incentives to buy EVs. Buyers used to get a $7,500 tax credit for buying electric vehicles, but the Trump administration halted those financial incentives last October. Another issue, the cost. The average transaction price for an EV is around $57,000, according to Edmunds. That's about $10,000 more than the rest of the industry. While people are still buying EVs, Drury says they're not for everyone.
There are many people that will still find it very inconvenient.
In the last 5 years, charging infrastructure has boomed in the U.S., but Drury says there are still pockets of the country where more charging stations are needed.
Charging infrastructure gets better, battery technology is getting better, charging technology is better. Like literally every aspect of ownership is getting better.
It's not all bad news when it comes to EVs.
EVs are still some of the best deals, especially when you look at like leasing one of these.
Drury says EVs hold 40 to 50% of their value. And right now, many automakers are motivated to sell.
So many of them are still discounted or sitting on dealers' lots.
Drury says if you are considering switching to an electric car, he recommends leasing it instead of buying so you can see if it fits your lifestyle. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Job creation by private employers cooled last month, though job growth continued to hold up early this summer. Payroll processing company ADP says the trend slowed in July, with only 44,000 new positions created by private employers in the month, down from a revised 95,000 the month before. The number is fewer than expected. Mickey & Co. are raking it in. Disney's third quarter earnings topped expectations. It was helped by the success of Toy Story 5, which has surpassed $1 billion in global box office sales since its June 19th release. Disney credits the movie with boosting consumer product sales. Disney was making more from its theme parks. Attendance at its domestic parks grew 3% in the 3 months ending in June. CVS Health reported a stronger than expected recent quarter. Its retail pharmacy sales picked up, but it's staying cautious as medical costs rise amid an uncertain economy. And SpaceX reported a smaller loss than Wall Street was expecting. But Elon Musk's space company is spending even more than estimated on its artificial intelligence buildup. It had costs of $18.4 billion. $15.8 billion was spent on, wait for it, you guessed it, AI. CJ Papa, Fox News.
Decked out in the latest doggy workday fashion, Meyer is ready for his shift at Mayo Clinic, and this four-legged helper is supporting patients in more ways than one.
We're kind of wired to be connected to nature, and dogs are just particularly good at creating that bond.
Dr. Brent Bauer says a caring canine companion can benefit a wide variety of patients, but in this study published Monday, he and a team of researchers pinpointed patients rehabbing in the hospital after a stroke, testing whether animal-assisted therapy would make their recoveries more successful.
We're asking them to do challenging things, to start moving again, to move differently. It's hard work.
The research found that patients who interacted with therapy animals showed greater engagement in their treatment, increased physical activity, longer mobility, and lower stress, compared with those who didn't have animals take part in their rehabilitation.
We already have a very active animal-assisted treatment program here at Mayo Clinic. We're going to expand that to try and meet more and more needs.
Bauer says animal-assisted therapy is likely to benefit other patients recovering from different medical conditions as well. And he says if the treatment is done correctly, it can help both the person and the furry worker.
The dogs who are well trained and well chosen for this work actually show lower stress levels after they've worked in the hospital environment with the patients they're seeing.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
During the heat of the day when we also have the sun and the ozone makes the air quality even worse.
Dr. Shelley Brown at Harmony Vet Center, just like everyone else, has been dealing with smoky skies just sitting in the metro area the last few days.
Well, I think everybody can kind of see how hazy it is. And anytime you have that visible haze in the air, you have lots of particulates that your pets are breathing in, that you're breathing in.
Pups, just like people, can experience runny nose or eyes or even difficulty breathing, especially in certain breeds and age groups.
You know, the dogs that are going to be most affected, first and foremost, all the little smushy face dogs, what we call brachycephalic dogs, like pugs, just because their respiratory tract is already compromised from their conformation.
Cats, too, can be impacted by the smoke, triggering feline asthma, even if they're indoor cats.
Same thing, coughing is our big one. You'll see they'll get low to the ground, have their elbows out and their head extended, and cough. And that's not a normal thing for cats to do, so if you see your cat coughing, definitely call your vet.
CSU vet professor Dr. Colleen Duncan says it's better to get ahead of it, taking the precautions instead of waiting until something seems off.
And remember that animals can't tell us. They can't tell us they feel a little crummy or they have a bit of brain fog and like kind of those really subtle early warning symptoms that happen in people.
It isn't just dogs and cats. Horses can suffer too.
When it's forced exercise because they're ridden, they haven't really been given that choice, right, to regulate themselves.
And always test the pavement before paws are put at risk.
When we have these hot days, a 95-degree day, the pavement can be between 140 and 160 degrees. So that would burn your foot. It's definitely going to burn your pet's feet.
Your wife is in a bar, you said she's unresponsive?
This is what he's going to tell you.
Trying to find the first place to put a body.
No, sir. The only thing they could do was kill him.
Be the jury and to find the defendant